Today, we're going to have a look at the Chinese J-11 flanker against the Israeli F-16 Viper, or as the Israelis call it, the Barak. I hope I'm saying that right. For those of you that are unaware, the J-11 is a Chinese multi-role aircraft manufactured by Shenyang Aircraft Corporation. It is a license-built variant of the Sukhoi 27 SK flanker. The J-11A, being very similar to the Sukhoi 27, is capable of some pretty spectacular super maneuverability. Super maneuverability can be very useful in a merge with Fox 2s or heat seekers, and can be achieved by turning off the FCS or flight control systems. In a guns only engagement, it must be timed perfectly, and the opportunity to use it is honestly pretty rare. In almost all cases, it will leave you very low on speed and an easy kill for the bandit. Even if you do manage to force an overshoot, you'll be low on speed, and by the time you've managed to regain any kind of kinetic energy, the bandit will have come back around and will kill you with little to no problems. The Viper is one of the best rate fighters around. It's literally what it was designed to do. The Viper should try and keep this a two-circle fight and get behind the J-11, which it should be able to do easily. The J-11 should attempt to keep the fight one circle if it wishes to create challenges and problems for the Viper. As the Viper gets slow, it will be more vulnerable. In general, both aircraft are amazing at dogfighting and are very capable of shooting each other down. It's just a matter of fighting their own fight. Alright, I am in the F-16 Viper, and Air Hunter is in the J-11 off in front of us here. And as stated earlier, I'm going to try to keep this a rate fight and keep my speed high, and I should be okay. There's the merge. It looks like he is turning one circle, which is what he wants to do. Very good. I'm going to go ahead and swing around. And we're coming nose on here. He's kind of lead turning me here. Very nice. He forced us one circle. It's very well done. This is not where I want to be against the J-11. You can see how he's actually maneuvering into a good position behind me here. I'm going to go ahead and go for the vertical, bleed off some speed, and try to roll around him. He's doing a pretty good job at this point. And you see I'm too slow. This is very bad for the Viper. And I had said that I wanted to keep my energy high, but I allowed him to lure me into this one circle fight. And this is kind of where we're at now. I'm going to see if I can turn the tables, but it'll be difficult. And so as he puts his nose down, he gains too much energy and allows me to pull up behind him here. Very nice. And now this is where I want to be. Very good. And in this situation, I should, if I can get my energy up above the 300s, more into the 400s, I should be able to rate the crap out of him. And he realizes what's going on, so he does this very dangerous maneuver where he completely noses down. I honestly wasn't sure if he would pull out of that, but it looks like he did. Now still my speed continues to not be where I need it to be. I needed about 430-ish. And he almost hits the ground there, which is really going to mess up his turn, which should put me in a good situation to pull up behind him. I'm pulling a little bit harder on the stick because I want to keep the pressure on him. And nose is coming around. He's going to drop some flares. And we can see the nose is coming around full circle. Even at the incorrect rate speeds for the Viper, I'm still able to get my nose around and onto him here. Now he's in big trouble at this point. Yeah, he's basically dead. There it is. Nice. Alright, so we can see that the Viper can go one circle. I mean, it's not great, but it's much stronger in a two circle, but it definitely can do a one circle if needed. And here it looks like we actually are two circle right off the merge, which is very good for me. I'm going to go ahead and keep that speed up. .430. Bring the nose around. Gonna pull a little bit harder on the stick here. And so you can tell he's trying to keep his energy state high as well. But the Viper is going to be better in this situation. Now we're in a two circle here and I'm raiding the crap out of him. So he's dumping his nose because he wants more energy. Very nice. Got him in the HUD. Possible kill. Nope. Okay, he sees that coming, so he's going to get out of plane there. He saw my nose coming around. Okay, he's gonna jink low. I'm not gonna follow that because it's a nice. It'll give him a nice opportunity to make me overshoot. I'll give him a little bit of time, and then we'll leg roll behind him. Now my energy state is now low, but I'm in a good position, so I might cash it in and see if I can get a kill. I don't want to pull too hard. He's just out of my gun sight. If I pull too hard, I'm too slow, and then I'm in a bad position. I'm about 190 knots now, which is exactly where I didn't want to be. We'll use rudder here to roll ourselves over. Now if he has more energy than I do, going vertical would be a very good thing for him to do at this point, because I doubt I could follow it. But here he is coming in front of the nose, and I'm getting some energy back at 260, which is going to give me something to cash in. Dump my nose a little for a little bit more energy, and now he's dead. Ooh. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting my work on Patreon. Really helps me out when you do that. Big thank you to all of you who are already supporting the channel. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Alright, here we go. We're going to do a tac view of, I think, the last fight, I think it was. Right here we got a merge at... back that up just a little bit. I'm at an indicated of 591 and he's a true airspeed of 55, so he's actually probably about 100 knots less than me. 590 is pretty high. I probably shouldn't be that high, but I go for the vertical a little bit because I want to turn some of that kinetic energy into gravitational potential, give myself a little bit of altitude to play with. So I'm going to go for that vertical, and it's going to allow me to pull pretty hard on that stick there and still maintain some sort of energy, and I kind of have to because I don't want to keep going ballistic into the 600 knots. And so here you can see I've come around much quicker than the J-11 has, as the Viper does, and it's allowed me to here turn up behind him, and you can see that the turn rate's 14.8 versus 11.1. So the Viper is clearly out-turning the J-11 here, which is what's giving me the advantage to pull up behind him. This is the kind of fight that the Viper is going to enjoy. And so here we are. He's dumping his nose because he wants a little bit more energy. By energy, I mean speed. Like, he wants to cash gravitational into kinetic, get himself some speed. And so here, this is where I'm trying to pull the lead. I almost have it, and he gets out of plane. So he actually does a great job there, Air Hunter, in seeing the nose. Probably I would have jinked a little bit sooner. Got out of plane a little bit sooner, because like you're cutting it really, really close here. You know, like I was probably a second or two away from shooting him. I would do it probably right around here when the nose is pretty much pointed at you, and right around, like, this is just a couple seconds too late, but it's not a big deal. So he's gonna go for that little jink down, and you can see that I'm actually not following that. This is definitely not a repo, but it's an attempt at one, I guess you could say. Like, I just kind of, instead of just going into the dive with him, I just stay up here and I allow him some time to build some separation between us. Because what happens here is people, you see this a lot in DCS with people that are pretty decent with BFM, is when they're in a bad situation, they'll dump the nose, and the other bandit who is in a good position will follow that. And what happens is this guy starts getting fast, this guy gets target fixated, he's not paying attention to his speed, and then this first guy all of a sudden pulls up or does some energy bleeding maneuver, and this poor bastard behind ends up shooting in front, and then they come around. So this is the tactic that you see often when people dive like that. So what I do is I just stay kind of high here as he dumps his nose, and what I'm doing is allowing some separation to build here, and then I can turn around and I can come back down. This allows me to manage my closure much better. So here we go. So once I decide that the space is enough, I'm just going to do a little roll and come up behind him. And there you go. You can see I'm nicely set up behind him again. I'm far enough that he can't force an overshoot without me being able to counter it. Like, it gives me some reaction time, and I'm once again in a good position. So he's going to go, honestly, here, if I had reacted better, if I was just a little bit more on the ball, I probably could have killed him. But I think the Pipper, like if you remember the gun sight on the F-16, it's like this. And you got the target lock symbology, and then you got the little circle that tells you where to shoot. This is where the circle was. It was probably like here or here. So I was very close, but if I just pulled a little bit more, but I was already at an indicator of 291, and I was like, if I pull the nose any harder and he does that out of plane maneuver again, I could be very low on speed, and it may allow him to flip the tables. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to get too greedy. I was like, we'll just sit back here and wait patiently. And so I'm just, at this point, I'm just glued behind him. I'm not doing anything crazy, just managing closure and staying behind him. And right here is the part where I think he starts dropping flares around here somewhere. He's dumping the nose to get some more speed back, which is good because it allows me to do the same, and I'm in a good position. So if I have a little bit more speed, I'll be able to cash it in and get the kill. And you can see that's exactly what happens here. Is I pull from, where is it? So 270-ish on the way down. We were at 195 up here somewhere, and we're all the way to 292, which allows me to cash in what little energy I have for speed in order to pull the nose, give it some lead, and get the kill. Now, unfortunately for Air Hunter, when he's low on the ground, it's very hard to jink. To jink up is a very difficult thing to do, and he's already cashed in all those altitudes. So there wasn't really a whole lot he could have done. Maybe he could have, got out of plane or something in this situation had he seen the nose starting to pull lead in front of him. But this is seconds of reaction time, and if you miss it, you're dead. So that's essentially what happens there. Big thank you to Air Hunter for coming out and helping with this video. I appreciate it very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.